Morning, everybody. Welcome to What's Hot on the Open, taking a look at all the U.S. markets at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. The markets are on the move. A very nice bounce this morning in all the major indices. You're seeing the Dow Jones up 181 points, up 0.88% at 20,870. It's over that battleground. 20-day moving average, breakout. Bulls are in control right now. That's post a very positive March ADP number. The employment number came in at plus 263,000 jobs. The anticipated number was supposed to be somewhere around 160,000, so blew away estimates. So while that's from a impact perspective, this number is moderately important. Really what we're going to be watching very closely is going to be the non-farm payrolls and the employment number on Friday. But this gives a little bit of a precursor for what could be anticipated as a very positive number coming into Friday. Taking a look at the S&Ps, we're seeing a similar bounce, up 16 at 237, 2,376 $60, up 16.5%. And again, the bulls on the short-term basis have taken control. Now, we're going to want to watch volume coming into the midday, so join us at Strategy Now. We're going to want to see this volume start to uptick with now the bulls taking control. But the data has basically gotten the market moving to the upside. Now, with that being said, we also had an EIA report. The oil storage report came out after what was last night, an API report that came out very, it looked like it was going to be bullish for oil. We saw this morning that there was actually a bigger build than anticipated. 1.57 million barrels were added to storage. So you actually had a build in Cushing. That's the results of we're pumping more here in the States and we're importing less. Rig counts have been going up, as we had noted, on a weekly basis, and we continue to see that as long as crude is over that $45, $50 mark, they're going to be pumping this oil out of the ground. They got bills to pay. They have some serious debt that they have to pay back, a lot of these drillers, and they're taking advantage of oil at these levels. Now, again, we're seeing positive jobs reports. We're seeing positive PMIs, both domestically and globally. So we're going to see if that demand quotient starts to pick up. Now, we did see gasoline stocks have a draw. That's a positive. But refiners right now are working at about 90% capacity on the crude side here in the States, in the West Texas contract. So they're pumping this stuff, and we're seeing larger builds and not bigger draws on the crude side. We're going to need to see that dynamic change if, in fact, we're going to anticipate some larger growth factors. We are also seeing technology. It actually picked up this morning. This has been the leader throughout, but for most of the morning, it's been lagging. You see the Dow Jones up 0.8%. You see the S&Ps up almost 0.7%. You see the NASDAQ up almost, it's 0.59%, so almost 0.6%. And then the biggest laggard is the Russell 2000. We'll get into that in a moment. But the NASDAQ has been lagging all morning. One of the leaders in the NASDAQ is the semiconductors. We're going to want to see the semis continue to move to the upside. The semis are up about 0.5%. But again, we're seeing that they're lagging the overall market pop. They're going to need a pretty large catalyst to get above, both in the semis and in the NASDAQ, to get above this resistance level, right? We're going to have to wait and see. The bulls have clearly taken control today so far, but watch the volume. And then taking a look at the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 has been lagging. It is now above its 20 and 50-day moving average right now for the session, but we have a real battle here with the small caps. Now, these are domestically centric, so that employment data that's going to come out Friday, that's going to impact the Russell 2000. What also I saw that caught my eye is a move in real estate, IYR. Now, we've had some pretty decent numbers that came out last week on in the previous weeks on both new home and pre-existing home sales. They haven't been blowing it off the charts, but what you're seeing is that there is an uptick over the last couple of weeks, last week basically, in the real estate side of the market. That is a positive. That'll be a positive just in general, and it'll be a positive for small caps. Now, we're in an area right now where you're hitting long-term resistance at the 200-day moving average. That's at 78.99. What's notable and why I'm talking about this is, yesterday I talked about unusual option activity. Well, while I take that with a grain of salt, I saw in the IYR weekly options that are expiring this Friday on April 7th, I'll just show you right here, the $79 puts traded this morning at 33 cents. Now these options basically have 2 days left to expiration. There was a purchase of 1,200 of the 79 puts right around 33 cents. Now these have a delta of 50, right? It means that basically a flip of the coin. They could be in the money at expiration or they could be out of the money over the next 2 days. Very interesting trade. I want to watch this because as I had noted on the chart, we're at some resistance right now, long-term resistance, and there could be a strategist that's anticipating, and we have a binary event, right? That jobs data, that non-farm payroll data is going to move the market one way or the other. Potentially. So with that being said, you could see that with volatility low. And as a matter of fact, if you actually go in and take a look at the vol on the IYR, I'm going to go into charts and I want to take a look at the volatility view. This is how I would break it down. If I see action like that, I see resistance on a critical level, I go in and I take a look at volatility and we can see that volatility is very low. So someone's buying cheap options as a potential hedge on the real estate sector. And so that just basically put me on notice, and I was on notice anyways because I saw that it was now challenging this critical level. Doesn't mean that the real estate market's going to get bearish. No, by no means. As a matter of fact, short-term and mid-term, it has turned bullish. And so we'll watch this very closely, but I wanted to bring it to your attention before we see any further moves. All right, folks. Well, that's it right now for what's hot on the open. Taking a look at all the markets so far with all the data out so far. We'll be back at 1:30 Eastern time to do strategy. Now, also take advantage of a free premium pass. That's where you can go in and check out the seasonal charts, the probability charts, also get a free risk assessment, and plenty other tools and features that MarketStream offers. You can get a free pass for that, and you can check that all out. So take advantage of that at MarketStream.live. All right, folks, we'll see you at 1:30 Eastern time for Strategy Now here at MarketStream.live.